Welcome back, you guys. Yes, the hoodie is on for today's video. To keep things real, I don't want to offend anyone with my current haircut or my hairline. Honestly, the pain at not getting my haircut secure before tier 4 came through. Shout out Boris for that, but today, you guys, I've got a news daily video, and for the 3 stories today, I'm going to break down the Declan Rice and Erling Haaland reports, and I'm going to talk about the club's plans for this January window. So we have a massive video to break down, but before I get into anything, I want to say a massive shout out to eToro for sponsoring Blue Lines TV. Now, eToro sponsor many Premier League clubs, and for you guys that still don't know exactly who they are, eToro is a global investment platform with over 16 million registered users where you can invest from your stocks, your currencies and commodities all the way to your cryptocurrencies as well. Now, recently eToro have been producing some surveys to understand how fans are coping watching their teams play from home. The survey results were naturally going to be quite negative, with 75% of fans saying that they aren't enjoying watching their teams play from home. Anyway, you guys, with eToro, they currently have the incredible CopyTrader tool, which essentially means you get to follow and copy the leading investors, meaning that whenever they make an investment, you make the same one automatically at no additional cost. So right now is the best time during this lockdown year for anyone that's always been interested and curious to learn how to invest, to get involved in this. Now's the perfect time. eToro is that app for you, and you'll find all the relevant information and the link in the description below. Now, to start with the first story, and I want to talk about two massive transfer targets that have been linked with us for a while, and reports are suggesting that these two players could be the next ones we're looking to sign for next season. I'm going to be talking about Erling Haaland and Declan Rice together, starting with Erling Haaland news, and essentially this news came yesterday from Italian journalist Angelo Mangianti, and I'm hoping I said his name right. But anyway, he states in a tweet that there are two exceptional players at the club are hoping to spend big to sign, and now I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions behind this story in regards to Rice and Haaland. This is pretty interesting because yesterday too, Haaland came out and stated that, he has no interest in leaving Dortmund anytime soon, but this is standard footballer talk. They're not going to give any hints away whatsoever. I guess the only bit of info we do have previously is that Haaland looked up to Frank Lampard when he was younger, and if he could work and play alongside anyone, it would be Frank Lampard. But again, that does not mean much, and to be honest, I would not be surprised in the interest in Haaland, considering his contract clause is set at around 60 million euros. So for that price, one of the hottest, if not the hottest young striker in world football, that's a pretty good deal. Now, of course, when you're linked with players like this, you have to think about how they're going to fit and how they're going to work. I think if you sign Haaland, I think his direct competition would be up against Tammy Abraham. Now, the club may be thinking once Giroud does move on, because he's 34 years old, he won't be around forever, and I'd imagine that he wants to start playing consistently instead of forever fighting for a spot. So if that was the case, we'd have Haaland and Tammy competing for the striker position. I guess Lampard would see Werner as that auxiliary forward, more of an inside forward who plays down the left flank, and would compete against players like your Pulisic and your Hudson-Odois in those wide positions. It's not like Werner's being used up front, and ideally, Werner works better alongside another striker. So in that sense, Haaland could definitely fit here and become part of a squad that does have Werner and Tammy Abraham. Now, in regards to Haaland's quality, especially compared to Tammy, listen, I'm about the facts, and for me, it's obvious that Haaland is the better player. Does that mean that Tammy Abraham is nothing compared to him? Of course not. It's just that Haaland is really an exceptional player, and of course, from a tactical point of view, he definitely fits at this club, and one of the best things about his game is his world-class movement. I mean, Haaland can do every type of run you can possibly imagine. He can make those angled runs, he can make those sharp sudden twists and turns and then turn on the burners and just accelerate away from opponents. He can time his runs from deep and further forwards. His runs can create space for his teammates too. And I think the reason behind why Haaland's movement is so world class is that the player is consistently looking to make a run. If his first run flops, he's going to continue to make that second one. And when you see his techniques behind how he's so successful, you know, he's constantly looking at his defender. He's constantly looking to attack their blind sides. He's constantly looking to run off their shoulders. It's no surprise why his timing is so excellent. And when you have this type of game with a player that's 6'4", has a very strong aerial game, you can hold the ball up, you know, is able to do the link-up play too. I'm not saying the guy's messy on the ball, of course not. He's only 20, and of course he can definitely improve from a technical aspect, but considering the attributes that you would need for our system, Haaland has that. And to top it all off, the guy hits the ball, connects with it perfectly, hitting it with power, left foot, right foot. And when you hit balls with speed like this, it makes it harder for keepers to save because it's too fast. So Haaland has all of this time to a T. He could come here and his game could get taken to the next level. However, once you do sign players like Haaland, it does have some repercussions for the state of the squad because other players won't play as much, and if they're not happy, they may look to move on. But that's my thoughts on Haaland. Moving on to Declan Rice. With Rice, we have some small updated news. Of course, he has changed his agents. He is under a new one, and when you consider the very public news that Rice is desperate to sign for us, the club want to sign him too. You know, about the same time, Rice is not looking to leave West Ham with any bad blood. He doesn't want to force any moves. He's not trying to strike and, you know, refuse to turn up for training or anything like that. And I think that Rice is definitely reacting to take some control of his future, considering that we came close to signing Partey this window. And if that happened, that would have meant that we wouldn't have signed Rice and his dream move would not have happened. So I hope this was a little bit of a wake-up call for Rice to be like, end of the day, you know, my career is more important. But, you know, I have to always say I like that he moves with integrity. And I think when you have a character like that, it's going to work very well at this club. So massive credit to him. Now with Rice, let's talk very briefly about his performance versus us in that 3-0 win over them. You can see his qualities. You can see how he moves the ball. Most of West Ham's best attacks started from Declan Rice. We're seeing him play those type of Joshua Kimmich passes. They're like those flat, low-driven pass balls that just evade the first defender's heads. Very difficult to defend against and a very hard skill. And I'm seeing Declan Rice play passes like this for fun. For me, the guy is most definitely going to be a leading midfield player in the Prem. His height, his pace, his passing, his technique, his drive, his mentality. I'd be happy with the signing. I think that he's proven that he does have what it takes to play for us and make it at this level entirely. However, the stumbling block's going to always come down to the price, because for £80 million it's way too much money, an incredible amount of money, and something has to give. So I feel like this story is going to continue to just take many twists and turns. Are we going to sign Rice? Will we give up and go for other targets? Who knows? But one thing for certain is that the next window, we're looking to spend big. Anyway, we're now ending things with the final massive story today, and that's in regards to the club's January plans for this window. Now, it's something I've been alluding to for a while, and to be honest, it has not surprised me whatsoever, considering that when you sign so many players and you haven't sold many other players that you still have in the team, something eventually has to give. So for this January window, it's going to be entirely dedicated towards selling players, which is the most important thing we have to do. Right now, players that are primed to be sold or loaned out are players like Rudiger, Jorginho, Emerson, Alonso, potentially Gilmour, potentially Tino Anjorin, Tomori and Rudiger as well. Now, when it comes to loan players, I'm looking at Anjorin, Gilmour and Tomori. I think they could all benefit from some consistent game time. Now, in the case of Gilmour, I've been telling you guys for a while that there have been talks going back and forth in regards to whether Gilmour should remain at this club. However, due to Scotland qualifying for the Euros for next summer, Frank Lampard believes that this could be a massive opportunity for Gilmour to secure a place in the team for the Euros. So to make that happen, a loan move might be on the cards, but with these loan players, everything is circumstantial and it depends on the first team players that we sell first. So for these players I'm looking at Jorginho, Rudiger, Alonso and Emerson. I think due to their current age, due to their current squad position, these guys aren't making us much money anytime soon, and the chances of them just, increasing their market value is so remote and so small that we really have to sell these players to increase the funds, to make moves for your Haalands, your Declan Rices, etc, etc. With players like Jorginho and Rudiger, these guys want to represent their national teams in the Euros, so maybe they could be the easier ones to sell off. But I'm not feeling confident, and to be honest, I would not be surprised that come the end of the January window, most of the players that leave the club are going to be on loan deals. That does not surprise me whatsoever. But to end this point, I think that the players that we still need to sell is that constant reminder that this team is not finalized just yet. Lampard does not have the entire squad in his exact image. That's going to take some time, and I feel until we see this, we can't fully judge Frank Lampard until he has every component at his whim. And it's the same formula that Pep, Klopp and many top managers today follow, so I don't see things being any different for Frank Lampard. But anyway, you guys, tell me in the comments below, what players are you hoping we sell, and do you think we could possibly make any signings in this window? If we sell enough players, could Declan Rice be a big money move in this window? Let me know below. On that note, I'm going to wrap things up and keep things moving. I'm Nini FC, this is Blue Lines TV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos.